And now it's time to talk about all the small things that you might encounter when you're going to be dealing with your LSAT. This is going to concern timing, things that might come up like sickness, being comfortable with the testing situation, and like things. When it comes to taking the test in practice, I strongly suggest that you just start timing yourself from the beginning. That's the only way that you're going to become effective with time management, because testing of the sections is rather short to complete for the average test taker. So you really want to get your timing sharp. And some of the ways that you can time yourself would include getting one of those kitchen clock timers, maybe using your computer or going online to find a timer. Or, if you want, you could eventually work your way up to getting the LSAT Proctor DVD. And I have nothing to do with this. I just used it myself, and I found it very helpful for taking the full test. And that's something you'll eventually work your way up to, is practicing taking the full test. But this definitely helped me simulate what the real LSAT is like. And I'd say it's pretty, having just taken it the other day, it's pretty darn accurate. So I strongly recommend you do take full tests, maybe even once a week, at the end of every week when you study. But definitely you need to be practicing the full LSAT time sections in completion towards the end of your studies. But in the meantime, definitely start working your way up, small to big. Take sections 8 minutes and 45 seconds at a time. With the logic game, with the reading comprehension section, with 2 pages, basically, of the logical reasoning, and then build your way up. Build your way up to the 35-minute sections, eventually take a couple sections, and start to get a feel for what it's going to be like in those conditions. And now that one thing that you always hate to happen is that you get that cough or cold just before you're going to have the test, or maybe you got it a couple days and you're wondering, oh my gosh, am I going to beat this? Well, I wanted to offer a couple little suggestions as somebody that has colds and allergies and this and that. I found that if I started to get a cold or I started to get congested, I used Vapor Rub, the Vicks version, and it really helped to suppress the stress in my sinuses. It helped clear my breathing, and it kind of stopped my runny nose. So I mean, it actually could be used if you wanted to feel more relaxed. I thought it was very relaxing. If you're feeling really stressed when you're taking your practices, you might want to just rub a little bit underneath your nose, and that'll help soothe your air passages, and it'll make you feel a bit calmer. It worked for me. It might work for you, but it's something to definitely consider if you get that cold. In addition to, and I have a little bit myself, but in addition to that, I would definitely suggest you take something, if you have a cold, like Airborne or something that's heavy in vitamin C. And I especially like Airborne or a ripoff of it, an Equate version. Even though they say, it doesn't cure colds, it definitely does help restore your immune system, your natural immunity, and that's about, feeling good. So you want to do that if you have a cold. And in addition, if you have like a cough, zinc lozenges definitely help soothe your throat. They make you a lot more at peace. These are just generic cherry, non-drowsy, especially make sure it's non-drowsy lozenges. I mean, you don't want to be taking any medicines or anything if you don't have to that's going to make you drowsy or jittery during the test, and even when you're practicing, because you want to really see how much you're progressing. Now, as far as the actual testing day is concerned, I offer you this advice. Get some good sleep. And getting good sleep may mean, if you can, start getting your habit right for the time you're waking up several days prior. Don't wait till the day before to get that sleep schedule right. It takes a while to adjust. So if you need to adjust to get yourself really well rested, then start adjusting a couple days earlier, because you'll definitely feel a difference. And when you're going to go into the test, definitely make sure you have a good meal. And it's kind of silly, but you don't want to have anything that's going to make you gassy or burpy or irritable or jittery the night before or the day of. You wouldn't want to do something that's going to make you uncomfortable. So consider those little factors, because those little factors can make a big difference in your test, especially under the stress and the conditions. Take vitamins for sure if you can. At least leading up to the week, you want to get your brain as well nourished as possible. And definitely bring a water bottle with you to the testing facility, because you want to have a little bit of replenished fluids midway through the test, because it's kind of dull and dreary, and your body's going to want to just have a little bit of freshness in it. Just a couple of final thoughts. When you're getting ready for the LSAT and you have your test center location picked out, be sure to check it out a day before or so to make sure that you know exactly where the testing room is, where the lobby is, where check-in is, and double check your list to make sure that you have everything you need. You're going to need to have that plastic bag with your stuff in it, and you're going to want to make sure you have your ticket, and you want to make sure that you have a good enough amount of pencils, maybe like 4 or 5 sharpened pencils, erasers and stuff like that. So make sure that you're comfortable with the testing location, comfortable with what you have, and well prepared, because you don't want to be stressing out the night before, the day of, trying to figure out where it is or what you need. And also, I highly suggest that you get the LSAT official Super Prep. This book is excellent because it actually gives you detailed information on the answers from the makers of the LSAT. And I'd say that this is extraordinarily helpful in the beginning and at the end. There's 3 practice tests in here. I suggest that you take one towards your beginning of your practicing and the other 2 towards the end. And the reason why is if you take the first one, you can immediately start off on a good foot and understand what they're looking for, and at the end you can evaluate better how you've progressed along the way. So this is extraordinarily helpful, especially in giving really good descriptions on how to attack the questions and what they're looking for. So definitely get this. Definitely get, if you can, every single one of the LSAT series books, 10 actual official LSATs, 10 more actual official LSATs, and the next 10 actual official LSATs. And that's a lot to say about LSATs. But definitely get them all. Get this book, study up, and if definitely I would recommend taking a course if you feel the need to, because courses definitely do help you, and if you're having trouble staying on track with it, maybe you should go to a course that you're more accountable and more likely to study. But definitely follow these methods, build up, stay strong by practicing through the methods that we've discussed here, and you'll do well. So good luck on your LSAT.